Hello again. Many of us think that Tony Blair's time in office was a catastrophe for Britain, signalling the start of the era of mass migration, among other things. By the time that he stepped down in 2007, a lot of people breathed a sigh of relief. But we never seem to see the end of him. Most former prime ministers, people like John Major and Gordon Brown, simply fade decently into obscurity. Blair, however, is still a publicity hound, hobnobbing with the famous and powerful and generally trying to behave as though he was still an important politician and international figure. This is beyond sad, it's absolutely tragic. He races around the world, freely giving his views and opinions on the important matters of the hour and urging people to take his advice. His vehicle for all this is the Tony Blair Foundation, which he hopes influences the decision makers of the day. Personally, I could live happily without ever setting eyes upon the man again. His vanity is appalling, and I rather suspect that he thinks that he still exudes that boyish charm that made him such a hit with voters back in the 1990s. Possibly he even imagines that the country is going to call him back at some point, and that these are his wilderness years. He'll return to guide us all as once he did before. What a shocking idea. One of his current ideas, though, is proving a hit, and there seems every possibility that Keir Starmer's government will adopt it. This is the idea of the digital identity card. Viewers will remember when Blair and Gordon Brown were both red hot for the idea of ID cards, claiming that they would solve everything from benefit fraud to terrorism and illegal migration. When David Cameron became Prime Minister in 2010, he promptly abandoned the idea. Now, though, it's creeping back due to Tony Blair. This time it has an exciting modern twist because instead of being an actual physical item that you carry around in your pocket like a bank card, the latest incarnation of the idea is a digital ID card. How modern and up to date is that? Really with it and cool, who could possibly object? It will be an app on your phone. In effect, it will enable you to claim benefits, prove that you have the right to work or rent a flat, and a host of other wonderful things. It will also, of course, enable the government to know precisely where you live and work, what you are doing at any moment, and access all your medical records. Not only the government, but the police, social services, and any other government agency will be able to keep tabs on you continuously. Who could possibly object to such a thing? If you have nothing to hide, then you have nothing to fear. It will make our lives so much easier. Of course, there will always be a few malcontents and cranks who will object to such a useful concept, but they're likely to be in a minority. You see, it will be just another handy feature of our mobile telephones. And so used are we to storing train tickets, boarding passes, supermarket loyalty cards, and a million other things on our phones that one more will hardly make any difference. You would need it to access the National Health Service, to vote, and in fact to do almost anything else in day-to-day life. A cute name has even been coined for this sinister idea. It's being called the Brit card. This time round, the primary aim is being presented as tackling illegal immigration, but that's merely an excuse. The government know that they will be able to keep track of everything we do, every aspect of our lives, if something like this becomes standard on everyone's smartphone. This is entirely the brainchild of Tony Blair, and he started promoting it last summer, 17 years after he stopped being Prime Minister. What is curious is that when he first announced the idea in July 2024, Keir Starmer and his newly elected government rejected such a scheme out of hand. In the description to this video, I give a link to a BBC News item from last July in which this is made clear. I also give a link to a news item from the day before yesterday, in which two government ministers say that this is absolutely something at which they are looking. You see, a year ago, Tony Blair comes up with this bright idea, and within less than a year, the government is dead keen on implementing it. Maybe Blair does still hold some authority in this country, that his project should be adopted in this way. I wonder, is anybody watching this keen to start carrying one of these digital identity cards? The Brit card?